Hello there, and welcome to our gentle journey into the deep blue. Tonight we'll be discovering one of the world's oldest, most feared, and often misunderstood animals. Sharks belong to a world of silent hunters, ancient predators, and creatures shaped by currents for millions of years. When most people think of sharks, they picture danger and razor-sharp teeth, but there is so much more to these majestic creatures than meets the eye. They are living time capsules, finely tuned by evolution, balancing marine ecosystems in ways we are only beginning to understand. If you enjoy these gentle journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, there is nothing you need to do but get settled in. Let your shoulders soften, let your breathing slow. Allow the day to gently fade away as we explore these ancient beasts together. Let's begin. Sharks have survived 5 mass extinctions, outlasting most life on Earth. Long before dinosaurs arrived, sharks were already moving through ancient seas, navigating a world that would be unrecognizable to us today. When catastrophic die-off swept the planet, when ocean chemistry shifted and coastlines changed, and when whole groups of species vanished into the fossil record, sharks endured. They are the ultimate survivors, a biological success story that stretches back over 400 million years. To understand the shark is to understand the history of resilience itself. They have witnessed the rise and fall of mountain ranges, the shifting of continents, and the freezing and thawing of the entire planet. Part of that resilience comes from their incredible variety. Throughout history, some lived in shallow coastal waters, while others patrolled the crushing darkness of the deep sea. Some became specialized hunters, while others were generalists, able to adapt to whatever food the shifting tides provided. Over immense spans of time, lineages rose and fell, but the larger story of the shark kept going. Their bodies are a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. Their framework is made of cartilage, which is lighter than bone and requires less energy to move through the dense, resisting world of the water. In a world where survival is never guaranteed, sharks repeatedly found a way through disaster. When you meet a shark in the ocean today, you are seeing a successful blueprint that has weathered Earth's harshest resets. This endurance is written into their very selves, while other species were forced to change drastically or face extinction. The fundamental design of the shark remained remarkably steady. Why change a design that already works so perfectly with the laws of physics? They are streamlined for efficiency, equipped with senses that allow them to read the ocean like a book. They feel the vibrations of the water, they taste the chemistry of the currents, and they sense the very pulse of life through the electric fields that all living things emit. When we think about the scale of their history, it puts our own world into perspective. We live in a time of rapid change, of noise and constant movement, yet beneath the waves the shark continues its ancient patrol, moving with the same steady rhythm it has used since the dawn of complex life. They are the guardians of the ocean's balance, the keystone predators that keep the marine food web in a state of healthy equilibrium. By removing the weak and the sick, they ensure that the populations they hunt remain strong and vibrant. They are not the villains of the sea. They are its doctors, its keepers, and its most ancient inhabitants. As we drift deeper into the story of their survival, we see that their life is not a struggle, but a dance with the environment. They do not fight the ocean, they move with it. They use the thermals and the currents to travel thousands of miles across the open blue, guided by an internal compass that reads the Earth's magnetic field. They are connected to the planet in a way that we are only beginning to comprehend. Imagine a shark cruising through the silent, sun-dappled waters of a prehistoric reef. The world above is silent, no birds in the sky, no mammals in the forests, but beneath the surface, the shark is already a master of its domain. It has already developed the dermal denticles on its skin that allow it to glide without making a sound. It has already perfected the rows of teeth that ensure it is always ready for the next meal. It is a creature that was born for the water, a perfect expression of life's ability to find a home in the most challenging places. To think of a shark is to think of a lineage that outlasted the great dying of the Permian period and the asteroid that ended the reign of the dinosaurs. They have seen the world reset itself time and time again, yet they remain. There is a profound comfort in that level of stability. In a universe that often feels chaotic, the shark is a reminder that some things are built to last. They are a testament to the power of adaptation, the beauty of efficiency, and the quiet strength of persistence. As we contemplate their long journey through time, we can feel our own pulse begin to match the steady beat of the ocean. There is no hurry in the deep. There is only the constant, slow-moving grace of the currents. The shark does not rush, it glides. It does not worry about the future. It simply exists in the perfect present of the water. We can learn from this ancient stillness. We can allow ourselves to let go of the frantic pace of our lives and sink into the restorative depths of the unknown. Sharks are not just predators, they are living poetry. They are the silver shadows that haunt the edges of our imagination, reminding us of the vastness and the mystery of the natural world. They deserve our respect, our protection, and our wonder. For as long as sharks have moved through the seas, the ocean has remained a place of vibrant, balanced life. They are the heart of the blue planet, a heartbeat that has been drumming for 400 million years. Think of the vast distances they have traveled, the millions of miles covered by a single lineage. Think of the billions of heartbeats that have echoed through the water over the eons. The shark is a thread that connects us to the very beginning of life's journey in the sea. When we look at them, we are looking back through a window into deep time. We are seeing a survivor, a masterpiece, and a friend to the planet. As you settle deeper into your rest, let the image of a shark moving through the dark, quiet water stay with you. It moves without effort, supported by the weight of the sea, perfectly at home in the silence. It is at peace with its world, and you can be at peace with yours. The history of the shark is a story of coming through the darkness and into the light, of surviving the storm and finding the calm on the other side. It is a story that tells us that life in all its forms is incredibly precious and incredibly strong. To contemplate the shark is to touch the hem of eternity. It is to recognize that we are part of a much larger, much older system that is wise and patient. The ocean holds its secrets well, but the shark is one of its most beautiful revelations. It is a reminder that even in the face of the greatest challenges, there is a way to endure, to thrive, and to find grace in the movement. Allow this thought to wash over you like a cool tide, leaving only the smooth, quiet sand.
Some sharks must keep swimming or they can slowly suffocate. For many species, the act of breathing is tied forever to the act of motion. Water needs to pass over the gills to deliver the life-giving oxygen that fuels their powerful muscles. And for these travelers of the open blue, the easiest way to breathe is to swim with the mouth slightly open. As the shark moves forward, water streams in, flows across the delicate gill surfaces, and exits through the gill slits. This process is known as obligate ram ventilation, a term that sounds technical but describes a beautifully simple relationship with the environment. It means the shark literally rams the ocean into its lungs, using its own kinetic energy to pull life from the water. If that steady flow stops for too long, oxygen levels in the blood begin to fall. That is why certain sharks seem restless even when they look calm. Their movement is their life support. It shapes everything about them, from their daily routines to the very structure of their hearts. They favor the open water where the currents are steady and reliable. They choose routes that keep the water moving, often following the great invisible highways of the sea where the flow is strongest. They are the nomads of the deep, never truly finding a place to settle because their biology demands a world in motion. Even when they sleep, they do so in a way that allows for forward motion. Scientists believe that these sharks may engage in unihemispheric sleep, where one half of the brain rests while the other half keeps the business of swimming and breathing ticking over. It is a state of being that is half dream, half reality, a quiet cruise through the shadows where the body remains a servant to the lungs. This demanding design is not a burden, it comes with a profound benefit. A body built for constant cruising can cover vast distances with incredible efficiency. It allows them to search wide areas of the ocean, finding food and mates in the vast empty spaces where other animals would struggle to survive. They are built for endurance, for the long game of life in a shifting world. In the ocean's ever-changing landscape, a shark can seize brief opportunities because it is always ready, always moving, always engaged with the pulse of the tide. There is a steady rhythmic peace in this constant motion. Imagine the feeling of a perpetual glide, of never having to stop, of being one with the current. For the ram-ventilating shark, there is no such thing as being stuck. Life is a continuous stream, a forward-moving journey that never ends until the final heartbeat. Contrast this with the sharks that have mastered the art of stillness. Some species, like the nurse shark or the lemon shark, possess specialized muscles in their pharynx that allow them to pump water over their gills while lying perfectly still on the sea floor. This is known as buccal pumping, a manual way of breathing that offers a different kind of freedom. These sharks have small openings behind their eyes called spiracles, which act like tiny auxiliary intakes, drawing in clean water from above, even when their mouths are resting against the sand. But for the great travelers, like the mako or the great white, these spiracles have shrunk or vanished entirely over millions of years of evolution. They have traded the ability to sit still for the ability to move with unmatched power and speed. This trade-off is a testament to the diversity of the shark lineage. It shows that there is no single right way to inhabit the ocean. Some find safety in the shadows of the reef, while others find it in the endless horizon. The sharks that must swim to breathe are the true citizens of the high seas. They are the ones who connect the distant corners of our planet, moving between continents with the seasons. Their life is a long silver thread woven through the fabric of the global ocean. When we watch them glide, we are watching a creature that is perfectly synchronized with the physics of its world. It does not fight the resistance of the water, it uses it. It turns the very density of the sea into an advantage, letting the pressure of the deep drive oxygen into its blood. As we think about this constant movement, we can feel the steady, reassuring flow of our own breath. Like the shark, we are fueled by the air and the water around us. We are part of the same cycle of energy and life. There is a quiet comfort in knowing that even in the darkest, deepest parts of the sea, life is moving forward. It is never truly still. Even in rest, there is a rhythm. Even in the silence, there is a pulse. The shark's journey is a reminder that motion is a form of medicine. By moving, they stay vibrant. By traveling, they stay healthy. They are the living expression of the idea that to live is to move, to explore, and to remain curious about what lies beyond the next current. Imagine the vast blue silence of the mid-ocean. There are no landmarks here, no floor beneath and no ceiling above, only the infinite shades of sapphire and indigo. In this space, a shark moves. It is not hunting, not fleeing, just existing. Every tail beat is a breath. Every mile covered is a renewal of life. It is a meditation in motion, a sacred walk through the water that has continued for hundreds of millions of years. It has outlasted the shiftings of the poles and the rising of the mountains by simply never stopping. It is a survivor because it knows how to keep going even when the world around it is in turmoil. As you drift further into your own quiet rest, let your thoughts move like the shark. Let them glide over the events of the day without stopping to dwell on any one thing. Let the currents of your mind carry you toward a deeper, calmer place. You don't need to hold on to the shore. You can let go and trust the flow. The ocean is vast and supportive, and it holds everything it contains with a gentle, crushing embrace. There is a profound safety in being part of such a large and ancient system. Like the shark, you are exactly where you need to be. You are moving at the perfect pace. The science of the shark's breath is a story of incredible intimacy with the earth. They are breathing the very history of the planet, the water that has been recycled through clouds and rivers and ice for eons. To move water over your gills is to touch the pulse of the world. It is a reminder that we are never truly alone or isolated. We are always in dialogue with our environment. The shark's need for constant motion is a beautiful metaphor for the persistence of life. It tells us that even when things feel difficult, there is a way to breathe through it. There is a way to find your rhythm and keep moving until the water clears and the sun breaks through the surface. To understand the shark is to appreciate the elegance of necessity. They swim because they must, and in doing so, they become the most graceful things in the sea. Their requirement for movement has sculpted their bodies into the most aerodynamic, or rather hydrodynamic, shapes in nature. They are the silver arrows of the deep, fired from the bow of evolution and traveling through time. Allow this image of effortless, perpetual grace to fill your mind. Let it soften the edges of your thoughts until they are as smooth as the water. The shark's world is a place of steady laws and predictable rhythms. It is a world where everything has a purpose and every movement is a celebration of being alive. Rest in the knowledge that you too are part of this steady, beautiful organization. You are breathing, you are drifting, and you are perfectly at peace.
A shark can detect a tiny electric field from a hidden heartbeat. In the deep, silent reaches of the ocean, every living creature leaks a faint whisper of electricity into the water. Every time a muscle fires, every time a nerve signals, and even the steady, quiet rhythm of a resting heart creates microscopic fields that radiate outward. To us, the water may seem empty and still, but to a shark, it is alive with an invisible web of bioelectric energy. This ability is more than just an addition to their other senses. It is a true sixth sense, a window into a hidden layer of reality that we can only begin to imagine. It is as if the shark can see the aura of life itself, sensing the presence of another being not through sight or sound, but through the very essence of its existence. This extraordinary perception is made possible by a network of specialized sensors called the ampullae of Lorenzini. If you look closely at the snout of a shark, you will see a series of small dark pores clustered like delicate stippling around the mouth and eyes. For centuries, these pores were a mystery to scientists, a puzzle of nature written on the predator's skin. In the 17th century, the anatomist Stefano Lorenzini first described them, guessing they might be glands that produced slime. But he suspected there was something more, a hidden function that he could not yet explain. It took nearly 300 years for technology to catch up with his curiosity. We now know that each of these pores leads to a long gel-filled tube that ends in a bulb-shaped sensory organ. The gel inside is a biological wonder, one of the most conductive substances in the animal kingdom. It carries the tiniest fluctuations of voltage from the seawater directly to the shark's brain, allowing it to detect fields as weak as 5/billionths of a volt. Imagine a flatfish hiding under the sand. It has buried itself perfectly, its colors blending seamlessly with the sea floor, its breathing slowed to a mere boost of a movement. To a human eye, there is nothing there but a patch of silt. To a dolphin, the sand is a barrier. But as the shark sweeps past, it feels a sudden sharp tug on its sensory map. It is not seeing the fish, it is feeling the fish's heartbeat. The steady, rhythmic pulse of the prey's life is like a beacon in the dark.
This ability becomes especially powerful at close range during those final critical moments of a hunt when visibility is poor or the water is clouded with sediment. When a shark closes its eyes to protect them during a strike, it is not flying blind, it is guided by the electrical map that remains vivid and clear in its mind, a landscape of energy where camouflage has no meaning. This sense also connects the shark to the planet on a grander scale. The Earth itself is wrapped in a massive magnetic field, and as ocean currents move through this field, they generate weak electrical currents of their own. Scientists believe that sharks may use their ampullae of Lorenzini to read these global signals, using them as a background guide to navigate across the vast, featureless reaches of the open sea. To a shark, the ocean is not a void, it is a world of intersecting gradients, a map made of magnetic lines and electrical whispers that can point the way toward distant feeding grounds or ancestral breeding sites. They are traveling through a world that is always speaking to them, always providing clues about where they are and where they need to go. There is a profound beauty in this level of sensitivity. It suggests a creature that is deeply, intimately connected to the flow of life around it. A shark is never truly isolated from its environment. It is constantly sampling the energy of the world. In the ocean, life is not just a collection of individuals, but a series of overlapping fields, a communal pulse that the shark can join and understand. When we think about this, the ocean transforms from a frightening, chaotic place into a beautifully organized system of communication. The shark is not a random killer, it is a master of awareness, a being that is tuned to the finest frequencies of the universe. This sixth sense is a reminder of how much we still have to learn about the world around us. For millions of years, sharks have been using a force of nature, electricity, that humans only began to harness and understand in the last few centuries. They were the first to listen to the whispers of the heartbeat and the first to navigate by the Earth's magnetic breath. They remind us that our own five senses only show us a small fragment of reality. There are auras and energies all around us that we are simply not built to perceive. By studying the shark, we are given a glimpse into those hidden dimensions, a chance to appreciate the complexity and the wonder of the natural world. As you settle into the stillness of the night, let the idea of this sixth sense ground you. Imagine yourself surrounded by a soft, protective field, a quiet energy that is part of the larger rhythm of the world. You don't need to see or understand everything to be safe. Like the shark, you can trust the invisible signals. You can trust the steady beat of your own heart and the quiet presence of the earth beneath you. There is a hidden order to everything, a map that is always there to guide you if you are quiet enough to feel it. The universe is not a series of disconnected events, it is a web of life, and you are one of its many pulses. To contemplate the electrical sense of the shark is to recognize the sanctity of life's energy. Even in the darkest, deepest corners of the sea, where light never reaches, life is never truly hidden. It radiates, it pulsates, it announces itself to anyone with the grace to listen. The shark is the ocean's great listener, the animal that hears the silence and finds the music within it. This awareness is not a source of fear, but a source of connection. It tells us that everything is connected by the same fundamental forces, that the same electricity that moves through the shark's brain is moving through your own mind right now. Allow your breathing to slow as you imagine drifting through a sea of golden light where every living thing is a glowing ember in the dark. You are moving through this light, part of its flow, part of its ancient and steady pattern. There is no need to hurry, no need to seek out answers. The map is already written in your very essence. You are a survivor, a masterpiece of creation, just like the ancient predators of the deep. Rest in the knowledge that the world is alive, aware, and holding you in its quiet electrical embrace. The shark has moved through this world for 400 million years, guided by a sense that never fails. You too can find your way in the quiet. Sleep now and let the gentle currents of the deep carry you into a dreamless and restorative rest. The hidden function of the world is revealed in the silence, and you are exactly where you belong.
Many sharks can smell blood from far away in moving seawater. In the vast, salt-heavy reaches of the ocean, smelling is not a straight line. It is an act of deep and patient interpretation. To a shark, the water is not merely a medium to move through, but a complex map made of invisible ribbons where every scent is a winding road leading toward a distant story. Currents twist and braid these chemical trails, drifting through the blue like smoke in a gentle wind, and the shark's entire world is defined by its ability to read these drifting messages. Unlike humans, who use their noses for both breathing and sensing, a shark's nose is dedicated solely to the pursuit of information. Their nostrils, or nares, are positioned under the snout, tucked away from the mouth, acting as two separate intake valves for the ocean's chemistry. They are not for air, they are for the soul of the sea. As the shark glides through the currents, water is pulled into these nasal cavities, passing over a series of sensitive skin folds known as olfactory lamellae. These folds are a masterpiece of biological design, maximizing the surface area available to catch the tiniest molecules of scent. For some species, these sensory systems are so prioritized that up to 2/3 of the shark's brain weight is dedicated entirely to the olfactory bulbs. They are often called swimming noses, a title that reflects their absolute mastery of chemical detection. They can perceive 1 part of fish extract or blood diluted into billions of parts of seawater. It is a level of sensitivity that is hard for us to grasp. Imagine being able to smell a single teaspoon of a substance dissolved into an Olympic-sized swimming pool. This is the shark's reality, a world where the faint whisper of an injured animal or the pheromones of a potential mate can be felt from hundreds of yards away. When a shark catches a scent, it does not simply race forward in a frantic dash. It moves with a calm and calculating grace, angling into the flow to test the strength of the signal. It may swing its head from side to side in a rhythmic, sweeping motion, sampling the water with both nostrils to determine which side of the body is receiving a stronger concentration. This is stereo smelling, a technique that allows the shark to triangulate the source of a scent with startling precision. If the smell is stronger in the left nare, the shark adjusts its course to the left. If it strengthens on the right, it tilts its body back into the flow. It is a slow and deliberate navigation, a process of connecting the dots across the blue void until the source begins to take shape. To a shark, a scent trail is not just a smell, it is a direction, a purpose, and a destination. Blood is only one small part of this chemical map. The ocean carries many other messages that the shark is tuned to receive. They can detect the odor of stressed fish, the specific oils of an injured marine mammal, or the crowded intensity of a feeding event miles beyond their sight. The sea is a conductor of information, and the shark is its most attentive listener. Every spill of scent can change the mood of a reef, calling in travelers from the deep who arrive like quiet shadows, guided by nothing but water and chemistry. There is a quiet, steady persistence in this kind of hunting. It is not about the eyes or the ears in these early stages. It is about trust in the molecules. It is about a deep, ancient understanding of how the water moves and what it carries. Think of the patience required to follow a trail that is thin and broken, drifting across miles of open ocean. The shark does not get discouraged. It does not lose its way. It simply continues to sample, to adjust, and to move forward. There is a lesson in this for us as well, a reminder that the most important signals in our lives are often the ones we cannot see. They are the faint, underlying truths that require us to be quiet, to be attentive, and to move with the flow of the world rather than against it. The shark's sense of smell is a form of deep listening, a way of being entirely present in a world of invisible forces. As you settle deeper into the cool comfort of your own rest, imagine your mind as a wide and peaceful ocean. The thoughts and events of your day are like scents drifting on the tide. You don't need to chase them or hold on to them. You can simply acknowledge them as they pass, letting them fade into the blue. There is plenty of room in the deep for everything to settle. Like the shark, you can trust your own instincts. You can trust the quiet rhythm of your breath to guide you toward a place of stillness and safety. The world is full of invisible pathways, and you are already moving along the one that leads to rest. The science of the shark's smell reveals an animal that is fundamentally an opportunist and a recycler. By tracking down injured or dying animals, they play a vital role in keeping the ocean clean and healthy. They prevent the spread of disease and ensure that the energy of the sea is always being put back to use. They are the stewards of the current, the keepers of the chemical balance. There is no malice in their search, only a perfect alignment with the laws of nature. The scent of blood is not an invitation to chaos. It is a signal that the cycle of life is turning, and the shark is there to ensure it turns smoothly. Allow the image of a shark's silver silhouette to drift through your thoughts, moving through the water with a slow and steady confidence. It knows the way. It is not worried about the distance or the darkness. It is simply responding to the world as it is, one molecule at a time. You can do the same. You can let go of the big picture and focus only on the quiet, gentle rhythm of right now. The ocean is a place of infinite patience, and tonight you are invited to share in that patience. The universe is a beautifully organized system, and even the smallest scent has a place in its design. The shark's nares are a bridge between the physical and the chemical, a way for the animal to touch the world without even seeing it. It is a reminder that we are all part of a larger conversation with our environment. We are always taking in the world, processing its signals, and finding our way through the currents. Let your breathing find that same easy flow, in and out, like the tide passing through the shark's nasal sacs. There is nothing you need to do but be here, in the stillness as the day gently fades away. The trails are clear, the water is calm, and the journey is leading you home to a deep and restorative sleep. You are safe, you are supported, and like the ancient dwellers of the sea, you are exactly where you need to be. The whispers of the ocean tonight are telling you that it is time to rest. Sleep well, drifting on the invisible ribbons of a peaceful mind.
Shark skin is lined with tiny, tooth-shaped scales that help them swim more efficiently. Run your hand the wrong way along a shark's body, and it can feel like coarse sandpaper. But this roughness is one of the most sophisticated examples of natural engineering in the world. These structures are called dermal denticles, or placoid scales, and they are not scales in the way we think of them on a goldfish or a trout. They are actually miniature teeth, complete with a hard enamel coating, a layer of dentin, and a central pulp cavity. As you drift into a state of quiet wonder, imagine a creature whose entire body is armored in millions of tiny microscopic teeth, each one perfectly aligned to shape the water that passes over it. They are not just there for protection, though they do provide a tough defensive barrier against parasites and scrapes. Their true purpose is far more elegant. They are masters of fluid dynamics, designed by evolution to solve the problem of drag. Each individual denticle is shaped with fine longitudinal ridges or grooves that run parallel to the direction of the shark's movement. To the naked eye, the skin looks like a smooth, matte surface, but under a microscope it reveals a landscape of valleys and peaks. As the shark glides through the dense, resisting world of the sea, these tiny ridges guide the water into millions of microscopic streams. This prevents the water from tumbling into chaotic, swirling eddies, what scientists call turbulence. By keeping the flow of water smooth and attached to the body, the shark significantly reduces the friction it encounters. It is a biological miracle that allows a shark to move with incredible speed and agility while burning the absolute minimum amount of energy. In a world where every calorie counts, the shark skin is a built-in efficiency system that has remained unchanged for millions of years because it simply cannot be improved upon. This incredible design has not gone unnoticed by the human world. Engineers and scientists have spent decades studying the surface texture of shark skin to find ways to help our own technology move through the world with less resistance. This is the field of biomimicry, looking to nature for solutions to complex human problems. We have seen shark skin-inspired coatings on the hulls of high-performance boats, to the wings of aircraft to improve fuel efficiency, and even to specialized swimwear designed for Olympic athletes. Nature solved the problem of fluid dynamics long before we ever began to measure it. It reminds us that the Earth is a laboratory of wisdom, and the shark is one of its most accomplished inventors. As you breathe in and out, think of how the shark's skin turns the water itself into a partner. The ocean doesn't push back against the shark. It is channeled, directed, and harmonized. There is a quiet, rhythmic beauty in this kind of perfection. The shark does not need to struggle or splash to move through the blue. It simply glides, its skin doing the silent work of 1,000 engineers. It is a reminder that being strong doesn't always mean pushing harder. Sometimes true strength is found in how we shape the world around us, in how we find the path of least resistance and move with grace. The shark's skin is a lesson in harmony, a way of existing in a dense environment by becoming a perfect reflection of its laws. The ocean is not an obstacle to the shark, it is a medium for its grace.
Imagine the sensation of moving through clear, cool water, feeling it slide past you without a sound. Every movement you make is supported and guided. This is the life of the shark, a constant state of effortless motion. As you settle deeper into your bed, allow your own body to feel that same sense of streamlined ease. You don't need to push against the events of your day or struggle with the thoughts in your mind. You can allow them to flow past you, guided by the quiet ridges of your own breathing. You are finding your own path of least resistance, shedding the drag of the day and sinking into the deep, calm waters of sleep. The universe is a beautifully organized system, and you are finding your perfect place within it, just like the denticles on a shark's back. Beyond its aerodynamic benefits, the texture of the skin also serves a quieter, more defensive role. The tight packing of these tiny teeth makes it incredibly difficult for bacteria and parasites to find a foothold. Even the smallest microscopic hitchhiker finds the shark skin to be a hostile landscape, preventing the buildup of algae or barnacles that would slow the animal down. It is a self-cleaning mechanism that keeps the shark's silhouette crisp and its performance high. There is a profound safety in this level of detail. The shark is protected not by a thick wall, but by a sophisticated surface that interacts with the world in a way that keeps it clean and free. As you drift closer to sleep, consider the depth of thought that has gone into the creation of every living thing. From the massive scale of the mass extinctions we spoke of earlier, down to the microscopic ridges on a single scale, the story of the shark is a story of total integration. Nothing is wasted. Every feature has a purpose. Every detail is a response to the ocean's demands. We can find peace in this order. We can trust that the same intelligence that shaped the shark's skin is also at work in the rhythms of our own lives. We are part of a world that is finely tuned, a world that knows how to move through the darkness and into the light. The shark skin is also surprisingly sensitive. Despite its armor-like quality, it is embedded with nerves that can feel the slightest pressure waves in the water. It can feel the swirl of a passing fish or the subtle change in a current near a reef. It is a dual-purpose masterpiece, both a shield and a sensor. It allows the shark to be both protected from the world and deeply connected to it. Let your own awareness become like that skin, soft yet strong, receptive to the quiet beauty of the night while remaining safe in your own space. The day is behind you now, and the water is still. Think of a great white shark cruising through the twilight, its skin a shimmering gray that blends into the shadows. It moves with a flick of its tail, a movement so efficient that it seems to defy gravity. It is a creature of pure function, an animal that has mastered the art of being exactly what it needs to be. There is no vanity in the shark, only a perfect alignment with its environment. It is a living reminder that we are at our best when we are most in tune with the world around us, when we allow the natural laws of life to guide us to our destination. As the images of the deep sea begin to blur at the edges of your mind, let the steady rhythmic flow of the ocean carry you away. You are drifting on a sea of ancient wisdom, a sea that has been home to the shark for 400 million years. The water is warm, the currents are gentle, and the world is at rest. The ridges of the day have been smoothed over, and the path to sleep is clear and unobstructed. You are drifting without effort now, gliding into the restorative silence where the only sound is the quiet pulse of the sea. Everything is in its place. Everything is as it should be. Like the shark in the current, you are perfectly supported, perfectly streamlined, and perfectly at peace.
The ocean is holding you, and the night is yours. Sleep now, and let the gentle design of the universe cradle you in its ancient arms.
Sharks are older than trees, with ancestors stretching deep into the silent corridors of prehistory. It is a strange and beautiful thought to picture a world with sharks but no forests. Yet the earliest shark relatives appeared in the fossil record nearly 450 million years ago, long before the first primitive plants took hold on the dry land. Their story begins in seas that looked nothing like today's oceans, beneath skies that had never heard the song of a bird or the hum of an insect. At that time, the Earth's continents were still drifting together into a single mass, and the water was the only true laboratory of life. To understand the shark is to realize that they are not just animals living in the present, they are the architects of the past, a lineage that has outlasted almost every other design nature has ever attempted. Thinking about that timeline can make the present feel very thin, like a single page at the end of a massive, ancient book. A shark cruising past a coral reef today is not a new invention. It is the latest chapter of an ancient design that had had more time than the oaks, the pines, or the redwoods to refine itself. For millions of centuries, while the land was transforming from barren rock to lush green, and then to the world we know today, the shark remained a steady presence in the blue. They have seen the arrival of the first amphibians, the rise of the majestic dinosaurs, and the eventual emergence of mammals. Through it all, the shark's fundamental blueprint, the streamlined body, the cartilaginous skeleton, and the heightened senses remained the winning idea. They are a rare example of biological perfection, a creature so well suited to its environment that while the rest of the world changed, the shark simply waited. Over these immense spans of time, the shark lineage experimented with a variety of forms that challenge our imagination. Some ancient sharks had strange, spiral-shaped jaws that looked like circular saws. Others carried dorsal fins shaped like anvils or brushes. Their history is not one unbroken march in a straight line, but a long branching path that kept returning to a central truth, that a streamlined predator, sensing its world in multiple dimensions, can thrive almost anywhere. As you settle deeper into your own quiet space, imagine the weight of those millions of years. There is a profound stability in this history, a sense of deep-rooted permanence that is as vast as the ocean. The shark is the thread that pulls the ancient world into the modern one, a living connection to the very dawn of complex life. In the deep time of the Paleozoic era, the ocean was a place of fierce experimentation, yet even then the ancestors of the shark were already mastering the physics of the water. They were developing the teeth that would become their legacy, teeth that were not fused to the jaw but held in a flexile bed of tissue, allowing them to be replaced as soon as they were lost. This was an innovation that would serve them through 5 mass extinctions. While other creatures relied on rigid structures that could break and fail, the shark chose flexibility and renewal. It is a philosophy of survival that emphasizes resilience over brute force. To be like the shark is to be adaptable, to recognize that the world will change and that our strength lies in our ability to renew ourselves and move forward. As you breathe slowly and feel the day fading away, let the age of the shark remind you of the patience of the natural world. The universe does not hurry. It builds its masterpieces over eons, one small adjustment at a time. We often feel the pressure of time in our daily lives, the sense that everything must happen quickly. But the shark tells a different story. It tells a story of enduring through the ages, of being a steady witness to the changing face of the earth. It suggests that there is value in being consistent, in finding a rhythm that works and sticking to it. The ocean is a place of infinite time, and tonight you are invited to drift within that same timelessness. You are part of a lineage of life that is older than the hills we know, a part of a story that has no end. Imagine the earliest seas, warm and shallow, where the very first sharks glided over sea lilies and ancient trilobites. The water was thick with the scent of a young planet, and the stars above were in different positions than they are tonight. Even then the shark was there, its silver body cutting through the waves. It survived the great Permian extinction, when nearly 90% of all life vanished. It survived the breakup of Pangaea and the freezing of the ice ages. It stayed while the forests grew and while the first flowers bloomed. There is a quiet power in that kind of longevity. It is a reassurance that life finds a way, that the core of our world is stable and enduring. This deep history reveals the shark's role as the elder of the sea. They have seen the ocean change from a place of primitive life to the complex, vibrant ecosystem it is today. They have watched the whales arrive, who are, in evolutionary terms, mere newcomers compared to the shark. They have watched the coral reefs grow into underwater cities, and the kelp forests rise like cathedrals. Through every change, the shark has been the stabilizer, the keystone that holds the arch together. They are the memory of the ocean, the keepers of its ancient laws. When we protect the shark, we are not just protecting a fish, we are protecting a heritage that is older than the very trees we walk among. Allow the image of this ancient traveler to soothe your mind. You don't need to carry the weight of the future or the regrets of the past. You can simply exist in the present, supported by the immense history of the life that came before you. Like the shark, you are a product of millions of years of success. You are built to be here. You are built to endure. The water of time is deep and wide, and it carries you just as it has carried the shark through the centuries. There is a beautiful organization to the universe, a plan that stretches back into the darkness of prehistory and forward into the light of tomorrow. The shark's survival is not a matter of luck, it is a matter of harmony. They are in perfect sync with the rhythms of the earth. They move with the tides, they migrate with the seasons, and they respond to the cycles of the moon. They are a part of the planet's breath. As you find your own easy rhythm of breathing, in and out, feel yourself connecting to that same ancient pulse. The world is steady, the world is patient, the world is old, and it knows how to take care of its own. There is nothing you need to fear in the passing of time, for time is the medium in which all beautiful things are refined. The shark moving silently through the shadows of deep time is a living prayer for persistence. It is a reminder that we are all travelers on a very long journey. The trees above us may seem like the oldest things we know, but the shark knows better.
It remembers the world before the first seed ever fell to the earth. It remembers the silence of a world without wind in the leaves. And yet it is here tonight, in the same ocean, under the same moon, a silent witness to the wonder of being. Let your thoughts blur and soften as you sink into this ancient story. The currents of time are gentle, and they are carrying you toward a deep and restorative sleep. The ocean is old, the stars are steady, and you are exactly where you belong in the grand, beautifully organized system of life. Rest now, and let the ancient wisdom of the sea be your cradle. Everything is as it has always been, and everything is well.
Some sharks glow in the dark, making their bodies harder to spot in the deep sea. In the crushing, silent reaches of the midnight zone, darkness is not empty. It is a world of shadows, where the sun's reach ends and a different kind of light begins to shimmer. Many animals in the deep produce their own light, but the way some sharks use this bioluminescence is a masterpiece of evolutionary stealth. Tiny light-producing organs called photophores can shimmer along a shark's belly, creating a soft, rhythmic glow that matches the faint, filtered brightness from the world far above. This incredible trick is called counter-illumination, and it is a form of camouflage made from light itself. It allows the shark to erase its own silhouette, vanishing into the dim blue background, so that predators looking upward from the depths see nothing but a seamless expanse of water. Imagine being a silent hunter in a world where there are no trees to hide behind, no caves to vanish into, and no sand to bury yourself within. In the open water of the deep, your own shadow is your greatest enemy. Any creature swimming beneath you can look up and see your dark shape against the faint light of the surface, making you an easy target or a visible warning to your prey. But the glowing shark has solved this problem with bioluminescent engineering. By matching the downward drifting light, they become invisible to anyone below. They are like ghosts made of cold fire, moving through the water without a shadow. To a shark, light is not just a way to see, it is a tool for hiding, a way to manipulate the very physics of the deep to remain a quiet, drifting shadow. This bioluminescence is not a constant neon glare. It is a delicate and responsive system, finely tuned to the environment. The shark can adjust the intensity of its glow to match the time of day or the depth of the water, ensuring that its camouflage remains perfect regardless of the conditions. In other cases, these patterns of glow may serve as a secret language, helping sharks find their own kind in a world where color fades and sound carries strangely. Some species, like the velvet-belly lantern shark, have specific luminous patches that may act as warning signals to larger predators, a quiet way of saying that they are not worth the effort of a chase. This use of light as a tool for communication and defense hints at just how strange and varied shark diversity can be. Not every shark is a fast, open-water hunter like the ones we see in movies. Many are built for the slow, patient world of the abyss, where a meal is rare and survival depends on being the most efficient and least visible thing in the water. The idea that a shark can glow often surprises people because it feels like something from science fiction, yet it is a deeply established part of real ocean life. The pygmy shark and the cookie-cutter shark are among these glowing inhabitants, using their light to lure in curious prey or to slip unnoticed through the schools of larger fish. The cookie-cutter shark even has a dark collar near its throat that does not glow, which may mimic the silhouette of a much smaller fish to trick larger predators into approaching, only for the shark to take a quick, circular bite and vanish back into the darkness. It is a world of trickery and light where the hunter uses the very darkness to weave a cloak of invisibility. As you breathe slowly and feel the day fading away, imagine the calm of this glowing world. There is no harsh light here, only the soft, bioluminescent pulse of life beneath the waves. This deep-sea light is cold to the touch, a chemical reaction that produces illumination without heat. It is a reminder that nature is full of solutions that we are beginning to understand. While we use fire and electricity to light our world, the shark uses the quiet chemistry of its own cells to create a glow that is as efficient as it is beautiful. It suggests a level of integration with the environment that is absolute. The shark doesn't just live in the deep, it becomes the deep. It reflects its light, it mimics its shadows, and it moves with its silence. There is a profound peace in this kind of belonging, a sense that even in the darkest places on our planet, life has found a way to be radiant. As you settle deeper into the stillness of the night, let the image of a glowing shark soothe your mind. You don't need to fear the dark. The dark is simply a place where a different kind of light becomes visible. Like the lantern shark, you carry your own quiet strength within you. You have your own ways of navigating the shadows and finding your path through the deep. The universe is not a void, it is a beautifully organized system of light and energy, and you are a vital part of its shimmer. You can let go of the need to see the whole landscape at once. You can trust in the small, soft glow of the present moment to guide you forward. The science of bioluminescence in sharks is still a frontier for researchers. We are discovering that these light patterns may be as unique as fingerprints, allowing us to identify species and behaviors that have remained hidden for centuries. It reminds us that the ocean still holds mysteries that challenge our understanding of biology. The deep-sea shark is a survivor in an environment that would be fatal to almost anything else, yet it thrives with a grace that is unmatched. It moves through the crushing pressure and the freezing cold, wrapped in a blanket of its own light. There is a steady, rhythmic endurance in this way of life. It is not a struggle, it is a mastery. Imagine drifting along a deep ocean ridge, miles beneath the surface. There are no sounds of the world above, no wind, no rain, only the quiet, heavy pressure of the water. Then, in the distance, a soft green or blue light begins to shimmer. It is a shark gliding along the rock, its belly glowing like a fallen star. It is not in a hurry, it is not afraid. It is simply part of the ancient glowing pulse of the abyss. You can find that same stillness within yourself tonight. You can allow your thoughts to glow softly and then fade, like the photophores on a shark's skin. You can sink into the deep, dark comfort of sleep, knowing that even in the silence, you are surrounded by the beauty of a world that knows how to take care of itself. To think of a glowing shark is to realize that the world is far more magical and complex than we often give it credit for. It is a reminder to keep our sense of wonder alive, to remember that beneath the surface of things there are layers of light and life that we have yet to discover. The shark's glow is a living metaphor for resilience and creativity. It shows us that when the world becomes dark, we can find new ways to exist. We can adapt, we can change, and we can find our own way to shine. Allow this thought to wash over you, clearing away the worries of the day and leaving only the quiet, radiant truth of your own being. As the shadows of the room grow longer and the night becomes still, feel yourself sinking into the restorative depths. The currents are slow, the water is cool, and the glow of the deep is a soft and reassuring presence. You are moving through the midnight zone of your own rest, a place of total safety and ancient peace. The shark is there, a silent guardian in the dark, reminding you that the universe is a steady and organized system. There is a place for every light, a purpose for every shadow, and a rhythm for every breath. Let the bioluminescent dreams carry you away into the quiet, shimmering heart of the sea. Everything is in balance. Everything is calm. Sleep now and let the cold, beautiful light of the deep be your guide. The ocean is vast, the night is long, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. Sleep well and let the soft glow of the universe carry you into the morning.
A great white can replace teeth for life like a conveyor belt. In the violent and unpredictable world of the hunt, a shark's teeth are its primary tools, and like any tool that sees constant, heavy use, they are prone to wear, damage, and loss. But unlike land animals that are born with a finite set of teeth, the shark has evolved a biological workshop that never closes. Inside the jaw of a great white, there is a sophisticated supply line of ivory. Instead of having teeth rooted deep into bone, shark teeth are attached to a specialized bed of connective tissue known as the lamina. Behind each functional upright tooth that the world sees, there are rows upon rows of replacement teeth tucked away in the shadows of the jaw, folded down like the petals of a flower waiting to bloom. When a tooth is chipped against the bone of a prey animal or snapped off in the heat of a struggle, it is not a catastrophe, it is simply an opening. Within days, and sometimes even hours, a new razor-sharp tooth from the row behind rotates forward to take its place. This tooth replacement system is a masterpiece of efficiency, ensuring that the predator is always at peak performance. A single great white shark can go through 30,000 teeth in a lifetime, shedding them like silver leaves into the sediment of the seafloor. It is a process of constant renewal that makes the shark a symbol of perpetual readiness. The teeth at the very front of the jaw are the ones doing the work, serrated like steak knives and designed to saw through the toughest material. But even as they bite, the teeth behind them are maturing, hardening their enamel and sharpening their points. It is a conveyor belt of survival, a relentless march of ivory that ensures the shark's bite remains as formidable in its old age as it was in its youth. As you settle deeper into your rest, imagine the quiet, steady motion of this internal machinery. There is no effort required from the shark. It is a natural, rhythmic growth, a body that knows how to repair and arm itself without a second thought. This biological innovation has also shaped how we understand the history of our planet. Because sharks are made of cartilage, which rarely survives the passage of time, their teeth are often the only clues they leave behind. These teeth are mineral-rich and incredibly durable, sinking to the bottom of the ocean to be buried in the silt for millions of years. The fossil record is filled with these dark, polished triangles, each one a record of a hunt that happened eons ago. From the massive, hand-sized teeth of the extinct megalodon to the delicate needle-like points of ancient reef dwellers, shark teeth are the ultimate punctuation marks of the ocean's history. They tell us what the world was like long before we arrived, revealing a landscape of predators that have been refining their craft since the dawn of time. They are the ultimate proof of a design that works, a system of replacement that has allowed the shark to maintain its position as an apex predator through every geological age. There is a profound philosophy in this kind of renewal. It suggests that loss is not an ending, but a necessary step for growth. The shark does not mourn a lost tooth, it simply moves the next one forward. It is a reminder that we too have the capacity to renew ourselves, to shed the things that are broken or worn out, and find new strength in the reserves we carry within. The shark's jaw is a living metaphor for resilience, a testament to the idea that we are always becoming, always sharpening our edges, and always ready for what comes next. The ocean does not demand perfection, it demands persistence. It rewards the creature that can take a hit and keep its tools sharp. As you breathe slowly and feel the weight of your body against the bed, let the thought of this steady renewal soothe your mind. You don't need to hold on to the things that have been chipped or damaged by the day. You can let them fall away, knowing that you have the capacity to begin again, to bring forward new thoughts and new energy from the quiet rows of your subconscious. The engineering of a shark's tooth is equally fascinating. Each tooth is covered in a highly mineralized coating called fluoroapatite, which is naturally resistant to acid and decay. While human teeth require constant care and are prone to cavities, the shark's teeth are built to be self-sufficient and nearly indestructible. The shape of the tooth is a direct response to the shark's diet. The great white has broad triangular teeth for shearing, while the sand tiger shark has long ragged points for snatching slippery fish. The mako shark has teeth that curve inward, acting like a living trap that ensures once a meal is caught, it stays caught. It is a world of specialized shapes, where every angle and every serration has been honed by the pressure of survival. There is a quiet, rhythmic beauty in this diversity. The ocean is not a one-size-fits-all environment, and the shark is the ultimate expression of tailoring a design to fit a specific need. Imagine the deep blue silence where these teeth fall. The seafloor is a vast graveyard of ivory, a mosaic of millions of years of hunting. Every tooth represents a moment of action, a pulse of energy in the great cycle of the sea. But here, in the dark, everything is still. The teeth rest in the sand, becoming part of the earth itself. There is a peace in this transition, a sense that even the most violent parts of life eventually find a place of quiet and permanence. As you drift closer to sleep, you can find that same stillness. You can allow the sharp edges of your thoughts to soften and sink into the background. The day's work is done, and the workshop of your mind is moving into its quiet, restorative phase. The science of the conveyor belt jaw also reveals the shark's incredible metabolic efficiency. To produce thousands of teeth requires a steady supply of minerals and energy, which the shark manages with a precision that would baffle a human engineer. It is a closed-loop system of growth and loss, a perfect balance of resources. It reminds us that nature is the ultimate economist, never wasting a moment or a molecule. Everything is recycled, everything is reused. Even the teeth that fall to the bottom of the sea eventually break down, returning their minerals to the water to be taken up by other life forms. It is a beautiful, organized system, a circle that never breaks. The shark is not just an individual, it is a vital part of the ocean's great chemical dance. As the images of the great white shark fade into the soft blue of your imagination, feel the steady, rhythmic pulse of your own life. You are a creature of constant renewal, just like the ancient masters of the deep. Every breath you take is a replacement for the one before. Every heartbeat is a new beginning. You are being rebuilt in the silence of the night, your mind sorting through the day's experiences and preparing you for tomorrow. There is nothing you need to do but let the process happen. Like the teeth moving forward in the shark's jaw, your path is already set, and your strength is always being replenished. The ocean is a place of infinite depth and infinite stories, and the story of the shark's teeth is one of the most enduring. It tells us that the world is a place where even the most used and battered parts can be made new again. It tells us that we carry within us everything we need to face the world, provided we are willing to let go of the old and make. A great white can replace teeth for life like a conveyor belt. In the violent and unpredictable world of the hunt, a shark's teeth are its primary tools, and like any tool that sees constant, heavy use, they are prone to wear, damage, and loss. But unlike land animals that are born with a finite set of teeth, the shark has evolved a biological workshop that never closes. Inside the jaw of a great white, there is a sophisticated supply line of ivory. Instead of having teeth,
Sharks have no bones at all, only tough and flexible cartilage. Inside the body of a shark, the skeleton is built from a material that is strikingly different from the rigid, heavy bones that support land animals or even the majority of other fish in the sea. It is the same substance you can feel when you touch the tip of your own nose or the soft curve of your ears. But in the shark, this material is reinforced, shaped, and engineered into a master power of a framework for a master swimmer. This cartilaginous skeleton is a profound departure from the traditional rules of vertebrate anatomy, and it is one of the primary reasons why sharks are among the most efficient and enduring predators on our planet. Cartilage is significantly lighter than bone, and in the dense, resisting world of the ocean, weight is a critical factor in the energy equation of survival. By shedding the weight of a heavy, bony skeleton, the shark gains a natural buoyancy that allows it to stay suspended in the water column with far less effort. It is as if they are permanently wearing a suit of lightweight, high-performance armor that supports them without ever dragging them down. As you settle deeper into the soft, rhythmic quiet of your own breath, imagine the incredible flexibility that this skeletal design provides. Unlike bone, which is rigid and prone to snapping under extreme pressure, cartilage is a living spring. It can bend, twist, and compress, allowing the shark to perform acrobatic turns and explosive bursts of speed that would shatter a more brittle frame.
When a shark strikes or engages in a sudden high-speed maneuver, its whole body acts as a shock absorber, distributing the force across its flexible structure. This elasticity is part of what makes their movement look so liquid and effortless. They don't move against the water, they move with a supple grace that makes them seem like a solidified part of the current itself. This framework is not a sign of weakness, it is a sophisticated solution for a life of constant motion in a three-dimensional world where stability and agility must coexist in perfect balance. Over time, certain parts of this cartilaginous skeleton can become hardened with mineral deposits, a process known as tessellated calcification. In the jaws and the vertebrae, the areas that face the most mechanical stress, the cartilage is reinforced with tiny hexagonal tiles of calcium, which add strength and stiffness without the crushing weight of true bone. It is a hybrid design, a way of being both strong and light, rigid yet resilient. This different framework changes everything about how a shark grows and how it interacts with its environment. It also changes how we perceive them across the vast reaches of geological time. Because cartilage is organic and soft, it rarely survives the process of fossilization, while the skeletons of dinosaurs and ancient whales are preserved in stone. The history of the shark is often a ghost story, told through the enduring triangles of their teeth and the occasional rare impression of their skin. The lack of bones does not mean they were less significant, it simply means they were built to belong to the water, not to the earth that would eventually entomb them. There is a quiet, philosophical beauty in being built of cartilage. It suggests a life that values flow over friction and resilience over resistance. Bone is a monument to the past, a rigid structure that stays fixed even after life has moved on. But cartilage is a commitment to the present, a flexible, living material that is designed for the here and now. The shark is a creature of the moment, its body a masterpiece of adaptation that doesn't need the heavy anchors of the land to find its place in the world. As you breathe slowly and feel the day's tension fading away, let the thought of this flexible strength soothe your mind. You don't need to be rigid to be strong. You don't need to be heavy to be grounded. Like the shark, you can find your strength in your ability to bend, to adapt, and to move through the pressures of your life with a light and resilient spirit. The universe is a steady and organized system, and in its wisdom it has created a place for the light, a place for the dark, and a place for you. Rest now, and let the flexible, ancient strength of the deep be your guide. Everything is in balance, everything is calm. Sleep well, and let the quiet pulse of the sea carry you home.
Some sharks give live birth, while others lay egg cases called mermaid purses. Shark reproduction is not one single story, but a rich and varied collection of strategies developed over millions of years to ensure the survival of the next generation in every corner of the ocean. In the quiet, sheltered nurseries of the sea, the miracle of life unfolds in ways that are both tender and remarkably resilient. For some species, the journey begins within the mother's body, where the young develop in a state of protected warmth, born into the water as miniature versions of their parents, already formed and ready to swim. For others, the mother entrusts her offspring to the currents, laying a tough, leathery egg case that anchors to the beach floor or tangles into the swaying fronds of seaweed. These cases, often found by beachcombers and called mermaid purses, are small capsules of destiny, holding a growing life safe from the rough water and the prying eyes of predators. As you sink deeper into the soft, rhythmic embrace of the night, imagine the incredible diversity of these beginnings. In the species that give live birth, known as viviparous sharks, the connection between mother and pup is profound. Some embryos are nourished by a placenta, receiving nutrients and oxygen through a lifeline that mirrors the development of mammals. This ensures that when the pups finally enter the open ocean, they are large, strong, and capable of hunting immediately. They are not born as helpless infants, but as ready-made survivors, equipped with the instincts and the tools of their lineage from the very first second. It is a high-investment strategy where the mother produces fewer offspring but gives each one a significant head start in the race for survival. There is a quiet, steady power in this approach, a commitment to quality over quantity that has served the shark well through the ages. Contrast this with the oviparous sharks, the egg layers, who create the mermaid purses. These cases are made of a robust material similar to the shark's own skin and fins, a dark and durable protein that can withstand the salt and the pressure of the sea for months. Many of these cases have long, curly tendrils at the corners, which the mother carefully wraps around corals or kelp as she lays them. Once anchored, the embryo is left to grow in its own time, fueled by a rich yolk sac that provides all the energy it needs to transform from a tiny speck into a predatory fish. Inside the translucent walls of the purse, the small shark can sometimes be seen moving, fanning its tail to circulate fresh, oxygenated water through small slits in the casing. It is a solitary, patient beginning, a life built on the foundations of self-sufficiency. The mermaid purse is a living fortress, a quiet sanctuary where the future of the species is written in the silence of the reef. This variety in reproduction is one of the reasons sharks have been able to inhabit so many different environments. Live birth is often favored by sharks that roam the open, dangerous waters of the deep blue, where a drifting egg would be a vulnerable target. Egg-laying is frequently seen in bottom-dwelling species that live among the protective crags and crevices of the coastal reefs. Each strategy is a perfect response to the specific demands of the habitat, a testament to the shark's ability to find a way forward, regardless of the challenges. As you breathe slowly and feel the day's worries drifting away, let the thought of this ancient care soothe your mind. The universe is a place that provides for its own. It creates sanctuaries in the sand and lifelines in the current. Like the growing shark, you are supported by a system that knows how to protect and nurture you even in the darkness. The science of shark reproduction reveals some of the most unusual behaviors in the animal kingdom. In some species, such as the sand tiger shark, a fierce competition begins before birth even occurs. This is known as intrauterine cannibalism, where the largest and strongest embryo may consume its smaller siblings while still inside the womb. It sounds harsh to our ears, but in the logic of the deep sea, it is a way to ensure that only the most formidable individual survives to reach the water. It concentrates the mother's resources into a single, powerful offspring that is born with an unmatched advantage.
It is a reminder that the ocean is a place of intense pressure, where strength is forged in the earliest moments of existence. But it also shows the length to which nature will go to ensure that life persists. The shark is a creature of high stakes and deep endurance, a being that understands the cost of survival. Imagine the moment a young shark finally emerges from its egg case or is born into the light. It is a moment of pure instinctive action. There is no parental care in the world of the shark. The pup is on its own from the start, but it is not unprepared. It carries with it the wisdom of 400 million years. It knows how to hide, how to sense the electric pulse of a meal, and how to move with the current. It is a small silver fragment of the ancient past, beginning its own journey through the vast and mysterious future. As you drift closer to the restorative silence of sleep, allow yourself to feel that same sense of innate capability. You have everything you need to navigate the waters of your own life. You are the product of an endless chain of success, a living link in a story that never ends. The mermaid purses we find on the shore are empty now, their inhabitants having long ago swam into the deep, but they remain as symbols of the sea's hidden magic. They remind us that life is always growing, always waiting, and always finding a way to bloom in the shadows. The ocean is a vast nursery, a place of constant renewal and quiet beginnings. There is a steady, rhythmic peace in this realization. The cycle of life is not a struggle, but a flow, a tide that comes in and goes out, bringing new generations with every turn. The shark is the guardian of this cycle, a steady presence that has watched over the birth of the seas since the beginning of time. Allow the image of a dark, leathery egg case swaying in the kelp to fill your mind. It is safe, it is still, and it is full of potential. You are in your own sanctuary tonight, safe from the pressures of the world, free to grow and renew yourself in the quiet hours of the night. The water is calm, the currents are soft, and the world is at rest. You don't need to do anything but be here, held in the ancient cradle of the night. Like the shark in the womb or the purse, you are exactly where you need to be. You are becoming, you are resting, and you are part of a beautifully organized system that values your existence. The story of shark reproduction is a story of diversity and resilience. It tells us that there is more than one way to bring beauty into the world. It tells us that strength can be found in a lifeline or in a fortress. As the images of the deep-sea nurseries blur into the soft shadows of your imagination, feel the steady, reassuring pulse of the earth's heart. The night is a time for beginnings as much as endings. It is the time when the soul prepares for the light of tomorrow. The shark is out there in the quiet reaches of the reef and the vast expanses of the blue, carrying the future within it. And you are here, resting in the knowledge that you are part of that same great unfolding story. Sleep now, and let the gentle dreams of the mermaid's purse carry you into a peaceful and restorative rest. The ocean is wide, the night is long, and life is always, always beginning. Everything is in its place, everything is calm. Sleep well, and let the quiet pulse of the sea be your guide.
The whale shark is the largest fish alive, yet it eats only plankton, moving through the ocean like a slow and majestic drifting cloud.
Picture a creature longer than a city bus, its vast silhouette adorned with pale spots and stripes, gliding through the sun-drenched layers of the tropical seas. In a world where we often equate size with aggression, the whale shark is a profound contradiction, a gentle giant that possesses the power of a leviathan but the temperament of a monk. Instead of hunting seals or tearing at large prey with razor-sharp teeth, it feeds by filtering the very essence of the sea itself. Its mouth can open to a width of nearly 5 feet, becoming a massive intake valve for the glittering confetti of the ocean. As it swims, water pours into this cavernous space, passing through specialized spongy filters that capture tiny life forms like plankton, small crustaceans, and fish eggs. It is a life of incredible patience, a feast of the microscopic that sustains the most massive body in the water. As you settle deeper into the soft, rhythmic quiet of your own breathing, imagine the peaceful scale of this animal's existence. The whale shark does not engage in the frantic chases or the violent struggles we often associate with its smaller, toothier cousins. It moves at a pace that feels outside of time, its massive tail sweeping in slow, deliberate arcs that propel it through the blue with a quiet and steady momentum. It is a traveler of the open ocean, often found where the currents bring a boom of life, near coral spawning events, seasonal plankton surges, or upwelling currents that lift nutrients from the cold, dark depths. To watch a whale shark feed is to witness a perfect alignment with the rhythms of the planet. It doesn't fight the ocean to find a meal. It simply positions itself where the ocean is most generous. It is a reminder that there is a path through the world that doesn't require force, but rather an understanding of where the energy is already flowing. The pattern of spots on a whale shark's skin is as unique as a human fingerprint, a beautiful arrangement of stars against a midnight blue sky. Researchers use these patterns to identify individual sharks, tracking their movements across oceans and over decades. This photo identification allows us to see the whale shark not just as a species, but as a collection of individuals, each with its own history and its own long, wandering journey. Some have been seen returning to the same coastal spots year after year, suggesting a deep-seated memory and a reliance on the ocean's predictable cycles. As you drift further into the restorative silence of the night, let the thought of this celestial pattern soothe your mind. You too are a unique arrangement of experiences and traits, a singular presence in a vast and beautiful universe. You don't need to be loud or aggressive to be significant. Your existence is written in the stars of your own being, just as the whale shark's identity is written on its skin. The science of the whale shark's biology reveals a creature that is perfectly tuned to the economics of the deep sea. Because it feeds on such small prey, it must be a master of efficiency. Its massive liver is rich in oil to provide buoyancy, and its cartilaginous skeleton is lightweight, allowing it to stay suspended in the water column with minimal effort. It can dive to depths of over 6,000 feet, moving into the cold and the dark, only to return to the surface to bask in the warmth of the tropical sun. This vertical movement is a dance between the layers of the world, a way of balancing the need for food with the need for warmth. It is a life of equilibrium, a steady back and forth that mirrors the coming and going of the tides. There is a profound safety in this balance. It tells us that we can move through the different depths of our lives, the cold moments and the warm ones, while remaining fundamentally supported and whole.
Imagine the sensation of being surrounded by the vastness of the blue, with a whale shark gliding silently past you. There is no sound but the low, muffled pulse of the water. The shark is so large that it feels like a landscape in motion, yet it is so gentle that the smallest fish swim alongside it in its drafting wake, seeking protection and scraps. It is a moving sanctuary, a living island in the open sea. As you sink deeper into your bed, allow your own awareness to become like that wake, calm, supportive, and free of turbulence. You don't need to struggle against the weight of your thoughts. You can allow them to drift past, held in the immense and patient volume of the ocean's heart. The universe is a beautifully organized system, and in its wisdom it has created a place for the small and a place for the great. Tonight you are invited to rest in that wisdom. The water is calm, the currents are soft, and the journey is leading you home to a deep and restorative rest. Everything is in its place, everything is as it should be. Sleep well, and let the star-spotted dreams of the giant carry you into the morning. The ocean is wide, the night is long, and the heart of the blue is beating for you. Sleep now in the quiet, supportive arms of the deep.
Greenland sharks can live for centuries, moving through the icy darkness of the Arctic seas with an endurance that defies the passage of time. In the deep subarctic waters, where the cold is so intense it slows the heart to a single pulse every few seconds, life follows a different clock. The Greenland shark is perhaps the most profound example of patience in the natural world. While the world above changes, nations rising and falling, forests growing and receding, the Greenland shark glides through the dim, silent corridors of the north at a pace that feels more like a slow drifting tide than a hunt. They grow with an astonishing slowness, adding perhaps only a single centimeter to their length each year. It is a life written in the cold, a journey that can span more than 400 years. To look at a large Greenland shark is to look at a living witness to history, a creature that may have been a pup when the world was a completely different place and will likely still be cruising those same depths long after we are gone. As you settle deeper into the soft, rhythmic quiet of your own breath, imagine the incredible stillness of the Arctic deep. There is no sunlight here, no changing seasons, only a perpetual twilight where the water remains at a near freezing constant. For the Greenland shark, this cold is not a hardship, it is a sanctuary. It slows their metabolism to a crawl, allowing them to stretch their energy across decades and centuries. They are the ultimate marathon runners of the sea, never in a hurry, never wasting a single calorie on unnecessary movement. Their skin is often a mottled, stony gray, blending into the silt and the shadows of the seafloor, making them look like part of the landscape itself. They are the ghosts of the ice, moving through a world where time has no teeth. There is a profound peace in this kind of longevity. It tells us that there is a strength in being slow, a power in simply outlasting the storm. The science of determining the age of these ancient dwellers is a story of modern wonder. Because they lack the bony structures that other animals use to record their years, scientists turned to the eyes of the shark. Inside the lens of a Greenland shark's eye are proteins that were formed when the shark was still an embryo. By using radiocarbon dating on these core proteins, researchers discovered lifespans that stretched back to the early 1600s.
It is a staggering realization that a shark swimming today might have been alive during the age of Galileo, or as the first great voyages of discovery were crossing the Atlantic. It changes our perspective on what it means to be alive. It suggests that life is not just a brief flash of energy, but is a long, steady glow that persists through the centuries. As you drift further into the restorative silence of the night, let the thought of this immense timeline soothe your mind. Your own life is part of this long, unbroken chain of existence, a pulse in the great heart of the world. Imagine the sensation of moving through that icy darkness, where the only sound is the low, distant groan of the shifting pack ice far above. The Greenland shark moves with a calm and heavy grace, its large, oil-rich liver providing the buoyancy it needs to stay suspended in the water without effort. It is an opportunist, taking what the sea offers with a quiet and steady gratitude. It may scavenge on the remains of seals or whales that have sunk to the bottom, or it may move with a surprising stealth to catch fish in the dim light. It is a life of total integration with the environment, a perfect alignment with the demands of the extreme north. There is no conflict here, only a silent agreement between the predator and the cold. The cold provides the time, and the shark provides the patience. There is a quiet philosophical lesson in the slow life of the Greenland shark. In our modern world, we are often taught to value speed, to reach our goals as quickly as possible, and to fear the passing of the years. But the shark tells a different story. It tells us that maturity can be a slow and beautiful process, that some things take a century to truly come into their own. The Greenland shark doesn't even reach reproductive age until it is nearly 150 years old. It spends its first century and a half simply learning the currents, understanding the shadows, and becoming part of the deep. It is a reminder that there is no rush to reach the finish line. The journey itself is the masterpiece, and time is the medium that allows us to refine our souls. As you sink deeper into your bed, allow your own awareness to become like the Arctic deep, cool, quiet, and vast. You don't need to hurry through your thoughts or rush toward tomorrow. You can allow yourself the luxury of slow time. You can exist in the present moment with the same steady endurance as the ancient shark. The day is behind you and the world is still. You are safe in the cold, dark comfort of the night, held by a universe that has all the time in the world to care for you. The currents of sleep are slow and steady, and they are carrying you toward a place of deep and restorative peace. Everything is in balance. Everything is calm. The Greenland shark is also a survivor of a changing world. While the surface of the Arctic is shifting, with ice receding and temperatures fluctuating, the deep remains a relatively stable refuge. But even there, the shark is a reminder of the fragility of our planet's oldest treasures. Because they grow and reproduce so slowly, their populations are incredibly sensitive to change. To protect the Greenland shark is to protect the memory of the Earth, to ensure that the ancient stories written in their eyes continue to be told. There is a steady, rhythmic peace in this responsibility. We are the guardians of the time travelers, the keepers of the long-lived. Allow the image of the great gray shark moving beneath the ice to fill your mind. It is a silent guardian of the North, a witness to the passing of ages. It has seen the world turn 400 times, and it is still here, still breathing, still moving.
You can find that same resilience within yourself. You are built to last. You have the capacity to endure the cold moments of your life and to find the steady, slow path toward the light. The night is a place of infinite depth, and tonight you are invited to explore it with the patience of the ancient ones. The science of the shark's longevity is a bridge between the biological and the eternal. It reminds us that we are part of a world that is much larger and much older than we often remember. As the images of the icy deep and the stony gray skin blur at the edges of your imagination, feel the steady, reassuring pulse of the Earth's heart. The night is a sanctuary, a place where time slows down and the soul can rest. The Greenland shark is out there, in the quiet reaches of the Arctic, a silent witness to the beauty of persistence. And you are here, resting in the knowledge that you are part of a beautifully organized system that values your existence and understands your needs. The story of the Greenland shark is a story of endurance. It tells us that life is not a sprint, but a long and steady walk through the stars. It tells us that the cold is not an enemy, but a teacher of patience. As you move further into the midnight zone of your sleep, let this sense of timelessness fill you. You are safe, you are whole, and you are part of an ancient and wise design. The ocean is holding you, the stars are watching over you, and the ancient ones are out there, moving through the deep as they have for centuries. Sleep now, and let the slow, icy dreams of the Arctic carry you into a peaceful and restorative rest. The ocean is wide, the night is long, and the heart of the blue is beating for you. Sleep well in the quiet, supportive arms of the deep. Everything is in balance. Everything is calm.
The dwarf lantern shark fits in a hand and hunts at night in the deep ocean, proving that in the vast kingdom of the sea, small can be incredibly powerful. As we drift into the velvet darkness of the midnight zone, far beneath the sunlit waves where the giants roam, we encounter a creature that challenges our every expectation of what a shark should be. Reaching a maximum length of only about 8 inches, the dwarf lantern shark is one of the smallest species of shark on our planet, a tiny marvel of evolutionary engineering that has mastered the crushing pressures and the absolute blackness of the abyss. In the deep ocean, where food is never guaranteed and every meal is a victory of survival, being compact is a brilliant strategy. A small body requires less energy to maintain, less oxygen to fuel, and offers a smaller silhouette to the many larger predators that haunt the shadows. It is a life of miniature precision, a story of a silent hunter that uses the darkness not as a shroud, but as a stage for its own incredible light. As you settle deeper into the soft, rhythmic quiet of your own breath, imagine the mysterious beauty of the lantern shark's bioluminescence. Its dark, sleek body is adorned with specialized light-producing organs called photophores, which allow it to shimmer with a soft, eerie glow. This light is not a beacon to attract attention, but a sophisticated shield of invisibility. Through the process of counter-illumination, the shark matches the faint, ghostly light filtering down from the surface far above, effectively erasing its own shadow from the eyes of anything looking up from below. It becomes a ghost in the water, a shimmering fragment of the deep sea that can move through the darkness without ever being seen. This light also serves as a communication tool, a secret language shared between members of its own kind in a world where sight is limited and sound carries strangely through the dense, cold water. There is a profound peace in this kind of existence, a life where you carry your own stars with you, illuminating your path through the void while remaining safely hidden within it. The science of the dwarf lantern shark's biology reveals a creature that has traded brute force for exquisite timing and stealth. Despite its diminutive size, it possesses the same keen senses as its larger cousins, including the ability to detect the faint electrical pulses of a hidden heartbeat. In the deep-sea night shift, speed is often less important than the ability to sense the slightest movement in the water. The lantern shark uses its sensitive lateral line and its electrical sensors to home in on small fish and drifting invertebrates, seizing them with a jaw full of needle-sharp teeth that are perfectly designed for its specialized diet. It is a reminder that excellence is not a matter of scale. The same laws of physics and biology that govern the great white also govern this tiny dweller of the depths, and it performs its role in the ecosystem with the same unwavering commitment. As you drift further into the restorative silence of the night, let the thought of this miniature masterpiece soothe your mind. You don't need to be the largest or the loudest presence in the room to be effective and vital. You have your own light, your own senses, and your unique purpose in the grand, beautifully organized system of life. Imagine the sensation of being a tiny traveler in a vast, dark cathedral of water. The world around you is immense, stretching for miles in every direction, yet you move with a quiet and steady confidence. You are not overwhelmed by the scale of the abyss. You are a part of it. The dwarf lantern shark shows us that there is a place for the small and the delicate in even the most formidable environments. It finds its way through the pressure and the cold, navigating the deep ocean ridges and the vast plains of the seafloor with a grace that is almost weightless. There is no hurry here, only the patient, rhythmic search for life. As you sink deeper into your bed, allow your own awareness to become like that of the tiny shark, focused, quiet, and perfectly attuned to the subtle shifts in your surroundings. You don't need to carry the weight of the whole world. You can focus on your own small, glowing path, trusting in the ancient wisdom of your instincts to guide you toward rest. There is a quiet philosophical lesson in the existence of the dwarf lantern shark. We often spend our lives trying to be bigger, stronger, or more noticeable, fearing that if we are too small, we will be overlooked or lost. But the lantern shark tells us that being small is its own form of mastery. It is an invitation to value the details, to appreciate the microscopic wonders, and to realize that sometimes the most sophisticated solutions are the ones that are hidden in plain sight. The universe values the tiny shark just as much as it values the whale, providing it with the same intricate systems of survival and the same capacity for beauty. You are a vital thread in the fabric of existence, regardless of your scale. Your quiet moments, your soft thoughts, and your hidden strengths are all parts of the master design. As you move further into the midnight zone of your sleep, let the image of the shimmering, hand-sized shark soothe your imagination. It is out there right now, thousands of feet beneath the surface, a tiny spark of life in the eternal dark. It is breathing, it is sensing, and it is at peace with the enormity of its home. You can find that same peace within yourself. You can allow the vastness of the night to surround you without feeling lost. You are held by the same laws that hold the lantern shark, supported by a world that has made a place for everything, no matter how small. The currents of sleep are gentle and supportive, and they are carrying you toward a deep and restorative rest. Everything is in its place. Everything is as it should be. The science of deep-sea bioluminescence is a bridge between the physical and the poetic. It reminds us that even in the absence of the sun, life finds a way to create its own radiance. The dwarf lantern shark is a living lantern, a beacon of resilience that proves the dark is never truly empty. It is a guardian of the deep-sea night, a witness to the hidden shimmers of the abyss. There is a steady, rhythmic peace in this realization. The night is not something to be feared. It is a space where a different kind of beauty can emerge. Tonight, you are invited to explore the shadows of your own rest, finding the soft, internal light that guides you home to yourself. Allow the image of the tiny glowing predator to fade into the soft blue of your mind. It moves with a flick of its tail, a movement so small and efficient that it barely disturbs the water. It is a creature of pure function and quiet wonder, an animal that has mastered the art of being exactly what it needs to be. There is no struggle in the lantern shark, only a perfect alignment with its world. It is a reminder that we are at our best when we accept our own scale, when we lean into our unique adaptations and move through the world with our own quiet glow. As the images of the deep-sea ridges and the shimmering photophores blur at the edges of your mind, feel the steady, rhythmic pulse of your own rest. The ocean is vast, the pressure is balanced, and the world is at rest. You are drifting in a safe and ancient place, a place where the only requirement is to exist and to breathe. The spirit of the tiny lantern is with you, reminding you that you have everything you need to navigate the depths of your own rest. You are protected by the darkness and guided by your own light. The story of the dwarf lantern shark is a story of miniature majesty. It tells us that the greatest wonders are often the ones that fit in the palm of our hand. It tells us that the dark is not a barrier, but a medium for a different kind of sight. As you move further into the restorative silence of your sleep, let this sense of quiet power fill you. You are safe, you are whole, and you are part of an ancient and wise design.
Hammerhead eyes are spread wide, boosting depth perception and a scanning range that makes them one of the most uniquely capable hunters in the sea. As we look upon the silhouette of the hammerhead, we see a creature that looks as though it was designed by a curious engineer or a visionary artist. That wide, flattened head, scientifically known as a cephalofoil, places the eyes far apart on the very edges of the hammer. This lateral displacement provides the shark with an extraordinary field of vision, a 360-degree view of the world around it that allows it to see above, below, and behind simultaneously. As you settle into the soft, rhythmic quiet of your own breath, imagine the clarity of such a perspective. In a world where predators often rely on a narrow focus, the hammerhead embraces the entire horizon. This wide spacing also improves binocular vision and depth perception, allowing the shark to judge distances with incredible accuracy as it sweeps across the seafloor.
It is a masterpiece of sensory geometry, a way of seeing the ocean not as a series of fragments, but as a complete and interconnected landscape. The cephalofoil is much more than just a mounting bracket for the eyes. It is a highly specialized sensory platform, packed with an expanded array of pores known as the ampullae of Lorenzini. Because the head is so wide, the hammerhead can carry a much larger number of these electrical sensors than a standard pointed snout shark. This gives them a broader search bridge, allowing them to scan a wider strip of the seafloor in a single pass, much like a minesweeper searching for hidden treasure. To the hammerhead, the sand is not a solid barrier, it is a veil. As it moves with a characteristic side-to-side sweeping of the head, it can feel the microscopic electrical whispers of rays and flatfish buried deep beneath the silt. It is a life of constant discovery, a journey where nothing remains hidden for long. There is a profound peace in this level of awareness, a sense of being entirely in tune with the hidden pulses of the world, knowing exactly where life is resting and where the next opportunity lies. The science of the hammerhead's biology reveals that every strange angle of its body has a vital function. That wide head also acts like a bowplane on an airplane, providing extra lift and allowing the shark to make sharp acrobatic turns with a speed that would leave other predators far behind. They are the agile scouts of the reef and the open sea, moving with a fluid grace that turns their unusual shape into a tactical advantage. Some species of hammerheads also show fascinating social behaviors, gathering in impressive groups at certain underwater seamounts and islands. They circle together in the thousands, creating a swirling vortex of silver and shadow that looks like a meeting of an ancient parliament. Researchers believe these gatherings may be tied to magnetic navigation or social hierarchy, but for the observer they are simply a reminder of the ocean's capacity for mystery and communal life. As you drift further into the restorative silence of the night, let the thought of this grand silent assembly soothe your mind. You don't need to navigate the world alone. You are part of a vast, beautifully organized system of life that moves together in an ancient and steady rhythm. Imagine the sensation of sweeping over a vast, sun-dappled plain of white sand. The water is crystal clear, and the only sound is the low, muffled pulse of the current. You move with a slow and steady confidence, your wide head feeling every vibration and every electrical spark from the life beneath you. You are not guessing, you are sensing. The hammerhead shows us that what looks strange or different is often the result of a perfect adaptation to a specific challenge. It teaches us to value the unique shapes of our own lives, recognizing that our differences are often our greatest strengths. There is no hurry in the hammerhead sweep, only the patient, rhythmic exploration of its home. As you sink deeper into your bed, allow your own awareness to become like that cephalofoil, wide, receptive, and calm. You can take in the whole of your experience without feeling overwhelmed. You are supported by the density of the sea and guided by a vision that sees everything in its proper place. There is a quiet philosophical lesson in the design of the hammerhead. We often try to fit into the standard shapes of the world, fearing that being too different will make us vulnerable. But the hammerhead has survived for 20 million years precisely because it dared to be different. It has turned a profile that looks like a cartoon into a serious solution for seeing, sensing, and surviving.
It is an invitation to embrace our own unconventional paths, to realize that the universe rewards innovation and diversity. You are a vital thread in the fabric of existence, and your unique perspective is a gift to the whole. Your wide-ranging thoughts and your distinct ways of sensing the world are all parts of the master design. As the images of the sweeping hammerhead and the sunlit sand blur at the edges of your mind, feel the steady, reassuring pulse of your own rest. As we come to the end of our journey tonight, we look back on the landscapes we have drifted through together. We have followed the ancient survivors through 5 mass extinctions and marveled at the flexible strength of cartilage. We have seen the ocean through the electrical senses of the snout and the chemical maps of the nose. We have witnessed the star-spotted majesty of the whale shark and the centuries-long patience of the Greenland shark. We have explored the glowing nurseries of the deep and the conveyor belt jaws of the great white. Now there is no need to hold on to any of it. Let the facts and the images blur and soften. Let your jaw unclench, let your shoulders drop, and allow your body to surrender completely to the weight of the night. If you have found comfort in this gentle journey, I invite you to subscribe and join our community of quiet explorers. Sharing these stories helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. Your presence is a valued part of this peaceful world we are building together. If you are still awake and curious, another journey will be waiting for you whenever you are ready to carry you onward into the vast and beautiful unknown. But for now, the currents of sleep are calling. The water is still, the pressure is balanced, and the world is at rest. The shark has returned to the shadows, and the stars are steady in the sky. You are safe, you are whole,